So 2020 candidate Pete Buttigieg tricked hundreds of prominent South Carolinians into backing his Douglas plan for Black America, and also somewhat tricked them into endorsing him as a candidate. So this is a story from Ryan Grimm at The Intercept. So he puts it out here. Pete Buttigieg touted three major South Carolina supporters on his Douglas plan for Black America. They were alarmed when they saw it. And again, it's not just these three. So they pushed out kind of the big three, but then there's, 400 other people that apparently back this plan. But when we get into it here, so I'm going to have to hunt a bit because there are some pieces here I want to read. It's going to become clear these people never actually supported what he wanted them to support. So to build support for the plan, Buttigieg and his staff lobbied prominent Black South Carolinians to endorse it in order to strengthen the cause of racial justice. The Washington Post reported on Monday that Buttigieg persuaded hundreds of prominent Black South Carolinians to sign onto the plan, even if they are not supporting Buttigieg himself. So let me highlight this here for a second. Hundreds of prominent Black South Carolinians. The Washington Post reports this. Here's the facts. So, and this is just, there's a lot wrong with what's going on here. This is just the first piece. So the first piece here is that 62% of the names, as you're going to see here when I bring it up, 62% of the 297 names that can be reliably checked are white. So Buttigieg sold this plan to other people in South Carolina as well. Other prominent Black South Carolinians sold this plan to them as, oh, look at this plan we have. This plan, the Douglas plan for Black America. We have all these Black supporters from South Carolina supporting it. Will you support it? Half of the people that support it are white. Now, again, this is just the beginning. So there's more to this piece, actually. Multiple names on the list appear to be from people who do not live in South Carolina. One person seems to not live in the U.S. at all, but in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Again, we're just getting started because one of the three prominent endorsers. So I mentioned there at the beginning, there are three prominent endorsers that the campaign rolled out. One of them has endorsed Bernie Sanders. So one of the big names that Pete Buttigieg and his campaign are using to say this big South Carolinian endorses our plan has endorsed Bernie Sanders and never endorsed the plan. So this is he's a state rep, Ivory Thigpen. So Thigpen, meanwhile, has endorsed Bernie Sanders for president and was startled when he learned the campaign had not only attached his name to the plan, but also listed him as one of the three prominent supporters atop the letter. How it was rolled out was not an accurate representation of where I stand, Thigpen told The Intercept. I didn't know about its rolling out. Somebody brought it to my attention, and it was alarming to me, because even though I had had conversations with the campaign, it was clear to me, or at least I thought I made it clear to them, that I was a strong Bernie Sanders supporter, actually co-chair of the state, and I was not seeking to endorse their candidate or their plan. But what I had talked about was potentially giving them a quote of support and continuing the conversation, because I do think it's a very important conversation. So they took this, the Buttigieg campaign took this as an endorsement of the plan and used this guy's name. A co-chair of Bernie Sanders used this guy to say, look who supports our plan. But there's more. So how did they trick these people? So if you think we're done, your mind might be blown by this piece here. And this is after publication. So the Buttigieg campaign came out, reacted to this. After publication, the campaign said it had sent the plan to the list of supporters and asked them to opt out if they did not want their name included on the list. That email also specified that the list was meant to represent over 400 Black South Carolinians. They got people or they asked people to opt out if you don't agree. So it's like somebody sending you an email one day. Look, I get a lot of emails. I don't read a lot of them because I can't. I just don't. We all get a lot of emails. A lot of it's spam. You don't read every email. Imagine getting an email. Imagine you're a prominent figure. You're a political figure, and Pete Buttigieg, this campaign emails you. Here's our plan. If you don't agree with it, then reply to us and opt out. You had to engage with the campaign. You had to actually email them back to say, no, I don't endorse it. No, don't use my name, or else they use your name. I have never heard of anything like this. This is completely insane. And on top of that, they sold in the email. They were telling people over 400 black South Carolinians support this plan, even though half of them are white. If anybody else did this, if the Bernie Sanders campaign did this, he'd be done. That's it. Media reports 24/7. Oh my God, Bernie's got to drop out. Look what he fooled black South Carolinians into endorsing his plan. They never endorsed it. He's got to drop out. This is crazy. This is just completely dishonest. How can you possibly have a candidate like this in the Democratic primary? Buttigieg does it. Let's see if there's even a report on it. Unbelievable. So this has to get more coverage. This is completely nuts. I've never heard of anything like this. And we're not done yet. Let's just end on the stock photo. If you thought you've seen something, wait till you see this. I mean, this is just probably, I wouldn't say worse, but just as bad as everything else. Here you go. On top of everything else, the Buttigieg campaign used a stock photo from Kenya to promote its Frederick Douglass plan for Black America. That's the photo they used. And it's from frickin' Kenya. How can anybody that knows anything about anything support Pete Buttigieg? This guy is so phony. Has flip-flopped on a number of issues. Medicare for All, at the beginning of the year, he was talking about how Medicare for All is actually a compromise, which he was right at the time of saying that. Medicare for All is a compromise because, for example, in the UK, there's the NHS, the National Healthcare Service. Medicare for All is a single-payer system. It's a compromise. It's in the middle. Now he's saying Medicare for All goes too far, way too far. We can't just rip people off of their private insurance and give them better insurance for less money. No, we can't do that. We got to give them the public option, give corporations time to drain the public system of resources as they offset all the sick people onto the public system, and then show people that, here, look, you definitely, Medicare for All is a horrible plan because look at how we completely gutted it in these 4 years under Pete Buttigieg's plan. He's such a dishonest guy. This, on top of everything else, he's got it like any normal campaign race, like any time where the media would actually cover things objectively, Pete Buttigieg would be asked to drop out after this. This is horrible, but that's not going to happen.